Hey guys, welcome back to the Cryptic Brush. I'm Kevin. So I just want to say thank you again for coming by and checking out what's going on. And today I'm going to be doing a bit of a channel update. So sorry about not putting a video out over the weekend. I was actually over in South Lake Tahoe with the family, enjoying a little mini vacation. Absolutely beautiful. But moving on from that, a couple of things happened. One, I picked up a new game that I'm going to be covering later on in the channel, and that is Fallout Wasteland Warfare, and I believe it's right over here. There we go. So I actually picked up this starter box as well as two other expansions and the settlement expansion, which is a little pack of cards. I will be going over painting them and setting that up, which will actually segue into my next topic. And that is actually the reason for this video is to discuss the future of my channel, which is ironic considering it's Fallout. Terrain. I'm actually a really big fan of terrain and making terrain. So what I'm going to do is I will do painting tutorials and things like that. Not as much as like the in-depth one as the red, my last video that I did. And that's because it takes a lot of time to do that, as well as like the editing. And granted, it's going to be the same way with the terrain, but it's going to be a little bit easier to do it more of a overview versus up close and personal with exactly what I'm doing with what my brush is doing. I kind of want to stay away from that. The other thing about my channel is I want to do is I kind of want to stay away from what's absolutely mainstream, you know, like brand new. And what I mean by that is, for instance, like the current phase of contrast paints. I myself, they're not for me. Do they do some good work? Sure. Absolutely. On like organic models and things like that, I think they look awesome. If you need to batch paint like Tyranids or the Skaven or so forth, go right on ahead. But for myself, I actually like sticking with my other paints and stuff that I have because it works for me. And that's what's most important, is to do what works for you. But with that said, with what works for you, one of the things that's not really working for me right now, at least for the channel, is covering War Machine and Hordes at the moment. I do have a lot of the models and whatnot, and I may be touching on them as I go along, like how to paint this, you know, with whatever strikes my fancy, or if people are reaching out to me like, hey, how do you paint so-and-so? You know, if I have it, hey, I'll do a video on it for you. But with that said, at least over here where I am, the community that plays War Machine and Hordes is pretty much like slim to none, just about. Okay, so I don't really see it as too much of a growth for me, at least where I am currently. But with that said, terrain, on the other hand, terrain I can actually really get behind because, for one, it's creative, right? There's creative license to what I can do for terrain. Now I can do things like medieval buildings to like science fiction style corridors for like Starfinder, or in this case what I plan to be doing is like Fallout style ruined post-apocalyptic type terrain. And yeah, so that's what I want to do. And I think there's more out there that I can work with. And especially if I could do like budget builds and things like that, and you guys can follow along and do the same thing, definitely will help. Now I do cheat a little. I have a 3D printer. I have a Ender 3 3D printer. So if I do end up using files, for instance, like if I'm trying to print out like some special windows or something like that in the future, for a terrain build, whatever, I'll make sure to put the file for that 3D printer file in the description of my videos if I do happen to use it, for those of you out there that have a 3D printer. They are actually pretty affordable. I actually got mine. I got the upgraded version for like $270 off of Amazon. It did take me a little bit to save up to it, but it's actually pretty cool. It's actually pretty fun to actually use. But that actually leads me to another thing that I got. And I just got it. I got it on Friday, but I wasn't able to assemble it till today. And that is, if you can see it, I got a Proxxon hot wire foam cutter table. Now I got it off eBay and I got it used, and for whatever reason, it's not working. It's not turning on. So I got to figure out how to fix it, whether it's to replace a transformer or whatever thing I need to do for it to actually get it to work. So it's kind of a setback for me, at least. I was actually planning to start doing terrain videos very soon, but until I can get that thing fixed, it's going to really hamper. I mean, sure, I can do it the old ruler and knife way and stuff like that, but really with the Proxxon, it was going to speed up a lot of my build time, and that's really what I need, especially when doing these videos, because I do have limited hobby time, especially during the week, because all my hobby time is in the middle of the night, you know, from like 11 o'clock till like 3 a.m. That's kind of when I do my stuff. So moving on from there, yeah, I just really wanted to kind of touch base, give you guys an update of what's going on and what I have planned, and also to remind you guys, if you guys could help me out, go by my Patreon page. I'll make sure I have the description below. Even if it's $1, you know, going towards me, that'll help me maybe even get some repairs so I can fix the Proxxon table. I do plan to have a few other ones. I'm gonna have a couple of videos, like one about stripping models. Another one's gonna be brush care, where I'll be going over things like brush cleaner and how to use it. And this stuff is magical. It really is. I absolutely love this stuff. But that'll be a different video for a different time. And yeah, so if you guys like these videos, help me out. Give me a like, give me a share. Hit the little bell notification thing so you guys know when my new videos come out. And yeah, alright guys, until next time, stay safe, keep gaming. Alright, bye.